Good morning. How is everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Coffee Chats. It's good to be back. It is today, January 9th already. Can you believe it? It's always shocking how time goes so fast. So thank you for your time today. I'm going to just go right into it. There are two things I want to mention right off the bat here. Lori, do you want to come up and just share some information about the art class?
Just wanted to let you know that we are not having Terry, our art teacher, come today. We are postponing that until February, so look for that. And if you have any special requests, you can see me after today. And then our mystery craft that is scheduled for Wednesday of next week is going to be at 1:30, not 1 o'clock, because I have a commitment that will take me till then. So we'll see you at 1:30 if you want to do a mystery craft.
All right, so time change, 1:30 next week for the mystery class. Also, I wanted to announce that next Tuesday at 6 p.m. we are going to pick up on the sing-along in the East Lobby. So if you are available with Evie, she is our lovely pianist and is volunteering her time. And so if you are interested in partaking in that, it will start next Tuesday in the East Lobby at 6 p.m. All right. I will go on to the week for you. So today at 10 a.m. we have Abby, our tech guru. She is specifically dedicating this time today on YouTube. So if you are interested in learning about YouTube, in particular focusing on how Ridgepoint has a YouTube station, you can utilize that tool to watch Coffee Chats, to find our recorded TED Talks. They're all on there. So if you have been intimidated perhaps, or it's just sort of like a floating in the ether concept of what YouTube is, please head up today in Marion Hall at 10 a.m. And she can tell you all about that. Going forward with our tech classes, she and I have talked. We are going to just open it up. She wants to have it more of a round table. We're gonna bring cookies. You can bring your device, and if you have specific questions, she's going to dedicate her time to the best of her ability and answer those specific questions. She's felt like the classes generally are so specific that the time might be better utilized to your benefit, so that you can ask her questions that would benefit you, that you're having difficulty with specifically. So next February, that's how we'll design those classes. And also, if you ever have any ideas for me with the tech, because I feel like that's an important tool in our modern world, let me know, and I will let her know as well. In addition, today, let's see, that's kind of what we have now that we know that the 1 p.m. craft class is canceled. I'll move on to Wednesday the 10th. Of course, 991 at 1 o'clock, we have our TED Talks recorded. And the 3 topics that are recorded for your enjoyment are life on the front lines of war reporting, the case for a new great migration in the US, meet methane, the invisible climate villain. So those are the 3 talks, TED Talks. 1:30, of course, on Wednesday, we have our 500, and at 7 p.m., we have bingo and 500 every Wednesday, so for your enjoyment. And if you know of any residents that are new here, make sure to let them know, because that's a great opportunity to meet everybody at a good old bingo game. So let them know, invite them. Is there any new residents here today? Just so I don't want to miss anybody. No. Okay. All right. All right. I will move on to Thursday. So, and of course, 9/11, we have our recorded coffee chats. If you're not able to make it, you can always watch it on 991. Our excursions typically run on Thursdays, as you know. This week we're going to the Minnesota Institute of Art. In particular, it is an exhibition tour, and also to the restaurant French Meadow. That leaves at 10:55. I wanted to just quickly discuss with you and share with you my thoughts on excursions going forward. If you sign up for an excursion, please get the check in by the end of the week. I am signing contracts oftentimes months in advance, making commitments, financial commitments, contracts, etc., that we are liable for. One example is we went to the American Swedish Institute. That was $25 went towards a tour. The other $29 went towards a buffet lunch. So I signed a contract for 21 people, and people kept on canceling. And as a result, I was able to get, I believe it was 10 tickets back for the tour, but I had to sign a contract with a catering company at the American Institute, Swedish Institute. And so we ended up taking a bit of a loss on that. So if you are signing up for things, please get a check-in. I'm going to kind of keep a better eye on that. And if I'm not seeing a check rolling in by the end of the week, I'm going to have to take you off the list or something to that extent. Because this is something that I'm passionate about. In addition, Ridge Point is a business. And if we're taking losses all the time, then it's going to lessen our ability to do fun things. Also, if you are upset about an excursion, it wasn't up to your standards or the write-up did not match your experience, I would greatly ask that you come to me first so that I can discuss it with that company, with that restaurant, because I represent what I set up and I represent you, and I do the best to never burn bridges and to be as professional as possible. So I'm asking to please come to me first. Now, you're adults, so if you feel as though you would like to do that, I can't stop you, but I'm just requesting to discuss it with me first, if you don't mind. All right, I will move on. Was there any questions with that? No? Okay, I hope that made sense. Okay. Friday the 12th, we have our 1 p.m. coffee chats. We have bridge, we have poker. 4 p.m. we have our happy hour. 7 p.m. of course on Fridays, our movie night in Marion Hall. And the movie for Friday is Moneyball. Oakland as general manager. I'm realizing I have to wear my glasses these days, sorry. Oakland as general manager, Billy Bean's successful attempt to assemble a baseball team on a lean budget by employing computer-generated analysis to acquire new players. And it's actually a comedy. So that is our movie for Friday. Saturday, we have 8 a.m. men's breakfast, and we have 7 p.m. we have our bingo. I believe that's all I have. Is there any other questions or? Okay. All right, thank you. I'll hand it off to Jeff.
Good morning. Good morning. Jillian, you said you would move on, but can you move on? I want to say that is the best I've ever heard a resident service person explain the reason for getting your checks in. Yep, and you are all adults, and why we can't get checks delivered is beyond me. And she's right, we can't keep taking it in the tail because people don't turn their checks in. If you don't want to go, don't go. If you are, there's a chance you might go, so you want your name in there, that's not a neighborly thing to do either, because if you decide on Wednesday that you don't want to go Thursday, people that are on the wait list, they're not waiting with bated breath to say, oh, I can't wait for someone to cancel so I can get on. They're going on with their lives too. So please, do as she says. I can't not make fun of her a little bit though. The movie is Moneyball.
What did I say?
Oakland as. It's the Oakland A's. It's the Oakland Athletics. Do you understand that now, Jillian? It's all right. I'll give you guys a little bit of inside dope. We had a staff meeting yesterday morning, and we could see out the window, and Patty said, "Oh, a black dog walked by." And less than a minute later, Paula goes, "Was it brown?" So if you see Paula, ask her if she saw the brown dog or the black dog. She'll know what you're talking about. Okay, at 10 o'clock, there's going to be a gentleman here from, he's a contractor for Prudential Mortgage. Prudential Mortgage holds the mortgage on Ridgepoint, and because we're in their portfolio, they like to send an inspector out from time to time to make sure that we've taken care of our property and everything. That's going to happen this morning at 10 o'clock. So if you see me walking around the building with, he's from California, so maybe he'll have a tan or whatever, make sure you interrupt and tell us how wonderful it is at Ridgepoint. If you have any complaints or whatever, my office will be open about 2 o'clock this afternoon. All right.
For letting us know.
You bet. We have snow, so winter's here. I just wanted to tell you that I looked at the 45-day forecast. How many days do you think are predicted to be less than 0, the temperature? 19. That doesn't mean the high is below 0. It just means that the low, there are 19 days that it's going to be below 0. We have had a phenomenal mild weather up until now. And any heat problems or anything that we have haven't really come to light, manifested themselves because it's not cold enough. I beg you, in your apartments, turn the heat all the way up. Feel that your pipes are warm. If they're not, call the desk. Because inevitably, if we don't do that, it will be 2 o'clock in the morning and you're laying in your bed freezing your tush off because the heat isn't working. Okay? We can fix any problem we have as long as we know about it. So, please, tell your neighbors, hey, is your heat working? Ask your neighbors, is your heat working? And then, obviously, after you turn it up and it's hot, turn it all the way down, and it should stop heating. It will take a while. Just as an aside, what you're doing when you're turning your heat up is you're opening up a valve in your apartment that allows hot water that's about 175 degrees to run through your baseboard pipes, and the pipes conduct the heat out into the room. Okay? Once your room gets up to temperature, say you set it at 70, it gets up to 70, that valve closes, and you don't get any heat until it gets back down to 68 or whatever the parameter is for it to turn back on. So just make sure your heat is working. We want you to be warm. When it gets super cold, it's hard to get every space in this building warm. We do our best. We had Harris out here yesterday and made sure all the hallways and common areas are heating as best they can. Feel like the Grim Reaper telling you about how bad it's going to be, but it's not always rosy, right? There's things that we need to do. That's all I have. Does anyone have any questions on anything? Carol?
There's still continuing to be a lot of people sick with COVID.
The question is, are there still a lot of people sick with COVID? No. I believe we had one report this week, and We're not requiring people to report. We're not. You're on your own. If you feel you're a threat to your neighbors, whatever, stay in your apartment. But if you have the flu, what do? You stay in your apartment. Call us if you need help getting food or whatever. We'll deliver it. I mean, it's no different than putting your check in for a trip. Do the right thing. If you sign up to go on a trip and you're supposed to pay, pay. If you're sick, don't expose your neighbors. It's, Jillian said one of the most important things, I believe, we're all adults here. The last thing anyone wants to do is sit up here and wave our fingers saying, don't do that, don't do that. But you ask, I believe that it's diminished a lot. After the December birthday bash, that may have qualified as a super spreader, but we're not we're gonna forget that. If you're not feeling good, stay out of the public. Was that good enough, Carol? Max?
Is this person that's coming going to go into apartments as well, or just in town?
Is the inspector going to go into apartments? They wanted to see 23 apartments, 3 of which are occupied, and we've let the people know who are going to. So no, if you haven't heard from me, we won't be in your apartment. Ann. It's contagious. I couldn't remember Ann's name.
Senior moment, Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay, so the price of laundry went up 50%, which I think is, it's really hard to take. And I'm wondering why it went up 50%.
The price of laundry went up 50%.
Yes.
The price of laundry is $15 a load.
It was 10.
Where it was 10. Shame on us for having it be $10. I'd say it should be 25. But we had it at 10. $15 is still a really, really good deal for laundry. And I certainly came on a little strong because I hear people say, yep, it went up 50%. If we raise rent 50%, yep,
You're vacant.
then get out the pitchforks. But if we're raising laundry $5 to $15 a load, how many people think that's too expensive? And Arena does such a good job that she's got a list of customers a mile long, and she really can't keep up with all of them. So what that price increase did, it did have a few people drop off. So, and you're not alone in your thought that it's excessive and everything, but there again, we all have to do cost-benefit analysis and says, is the laundry worth $15 to me? Maybe yes, maybe no. If it's no, you do it yourself. If you can. And if you can't, you're going to have to pay anyway. And if $15 is too much, then go ahead and pay $25 at Pilgrim. You're not going to find it any cheaper, I don't believe. So, anything else? Yes.
I've heard 4 different stories about the parking, the storage, and all that. What is the story?
Thank you. The storage in the east building is going away April 30th. If you're on the wait list for storage in the east building, you're not going to be able to get any. We're not putting anyone back in. We're using, we need the parking spots. We're gonna get 6 parking spots. As I've said a number of times, our biggest roadblock in renting apartments to absolutely qualified customers that meet our niche perfectly, that will fit in, that will enjoy it here, that we can satisfy, that will be good neighbors, is lack of indoor parking. Absolutely. And so what we're going to do is we're going to at least reduce our wait list by 6. And I don't know if we'll ever be able to build other garages outside, but they're detached, and that would be kind of difficult to run in and out. But thank you for that question. And we brought the, what are the other 3 stories you've heard? Susan.
February, April, and the guys that work here, I don't know.
Yep.
They said they didn't know.
And they didn't know.
So I just thought, if we don't see it in the communicator, what's the story?
Yep. And it's not uncommon for me to lay in bed at night and examine myself and what happened that day and say, you know what, I didn't tell anyone when the heck we're going to tear the storage lockers out. So what you're saying about the guys is absolutely true. But our staff now know that April 30th is the end. So if you have storage lockers, start figuring out what you're going to do with this stuff. You moved here to downsize. We're going to force you to downsize.
Hey Jeff, can I put it in your office?
Dean wants to put his stuff in my office.
We support him.
Yeah. All right, I'll have Linda Cook bring that portable little dumpster and set it in my office, so we'll put it right in there. What do you have, Dean? Do you have a lot of stuff?
Oh yes, that's why I have a storage locker.
Yep. And I hear you're serious to a point, but do you understand our point?
No.
Okay.
The way I look at it, Jeff, you've had a parking problem since you built the building.
Yep.
Nothing has changed. Nothing. You were selling apartments all that time. You filled up your apartments. If you've got a problem filling apartments, it's not because of the parking, it's because of something else.
You heard what I said. It's our job to know why we're renting and why we're not. And I'm here telling everyone, and guess what? I'm not completely in tune and know everything about what's going on around here. But if you ask Paula, you ask me, it's if we had parking, we'd have 15 more apartments rented. We don't. We've got people that move into 1-bedroom apartments. They're downsizing. And yet they want storage outside of their apartments, which the history of those storage lockers is, I was here in 1987. I'm not kidding. They were building Highway 12 out here at that time. Okay? They couldn't rent an apartment to save their soul. So if someone came in and said, oh, I'd like storage, I'd like storage. So they built storage down there because at that time, the renting one apartment was worth it. As time went by, and we created what we did create, and what we created is an independent community that drives. When this building was built, I don't know why they decided to put 70 garages in each building when we wanted and be independent living. 70 garages per building would be really good if we were in assisted living, but we're not. But the short-term fix back in the 80s was, oh, we can rent apartments if we give people with a one-bedroom apartment in the east building a storage locker. In the east building, there's no storage locker, so they had to build them. Hey, we're not gonna rent those garages for 100 years, let's put them in there. So that's why they're there. And so I would argue we're just trying to fix a wrong from 30 years ago. More than that.
Well, you know what? I've been here 6 years. I've never owned this parking spot in this building, anywhere. Okay? I didn't ask for one.
Yep.
But I did want a place to put my excess, which I do have.
Yep.
And I don't know where it's going to go.
And I feel for you. I wish we had 50 more people like you that live independently, that are fun, and all the things that you do, and you get your money's worth, I believe, out of Ridge Point. But we can't be all things to all people.
No, but you were offering me a place to put my stuff, which I did not even take advantage of for most of that 6 years. When I finally did get one, thank you very much, you're taking it away from me.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about it, and I'm happy.
But Dean, that stuff is sitting in storage. You're not using it. Maybe it's time for it to hit the road, the great friends. You aren't using it. There's so much stuff in my apartment that I'm not using necessarily. It should go away. But
I have things that
gotten
are
rid of
quite,
stuff.
I have things in that storage area that are extremely valuable. They're valuable.
Who's gonna
There are
evaluate?
things I do
Who's
not
gonna take
want to get rid of.
And we don't need to have a discussion on one person's trash is another person's treasure. What I know is that Dean Preston has been here a long, long time. It's not his way to sit up at coffee chats and dispute what I'm saying. He feels strongly about this. He needs to be heard. I like that. I don't know that I can help it. I think that you did go 6 years and somehow managed, but Dean, with boundaries, I love you. I think, but it's hard to make decisions sometimes. And the decision we've come to is, and going back to what Jillian said, we are a business, and that's a lot of money over the course of a year. Carol.
Could you convert an apartment to have storage units in it?
No.
If there's a chronically unsellable apartment for whatever problem, could that be a storage area?
We can do that. There's one apartment that's currently unsellable, and so on Monday we'll take out the art room. The art room is the only one like that. And the art room we're gonna keep. So no. And there are so many, well, we don't even know how many they are and what's in them. And Dean, honestly, I think you're the exception in you've got things that are near and dear to your heart in your storage locker. There's a lot of storage lockers down there that people have their name on, and there's really not there's an old suitcase. Mostly it's Christmas decorations. And if what a lot of people do that don't have storage lockers, they keep them at a family member's house. So,
Move on.
I'm glad that we brought it up back in December because we wanted to talk about it many times over before it actually happens.
The discussion was very good.
Yep. Joanne?
Can we add on a small building with storage?
Can we add on a small building with storage?
Investigate it.
I don't know. I'm not saying no, but is that a good use of funds? Maybe not. We can talk about it. I'll talk about it at my Tuesday meeting this afternoon.
Okay.
Someone else had their hand up. All right.
Just on a light note, I'm sorry. On a light note, I just wanted to, someone had requested Valentine's Day is coming up, and next Wednesday, the 17th, Mary's Medical Research is featuring new vintage jewelry. So I wanted to make sure and get that in.
All right, and I have some good news. There will not be a puzzle or a joke today. I'll get back at all of you on the last Tuesday of the month. Okay, what is the date today? 9th. Okay, no birthdays till the 14th. Ann Louise Hartman and Meg Zeleny. And on the 16th, Bev Norman. And no anniversaries. Let's sing happy birthdays to our friends. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you. Have a good week, everybody.